Holy moly, what is going on here? A new trademark filed by Cloud Imperium Games called SOULSINGER. I just found out about this the other day. It looks like Bored Gamer has some things to say about SOULSINGER, speculating on SOULSINGER. No answers as of yet that I know of. It looks like SaltEMike is reacting to this new SOULSINGER. We're not quite sure if it's a new game. We're not quite sure. If you look at the new loading screen that you have with Cloud Imperium Games, you see an area that says games on the side, which it does look like they're going to start doing multiple titles. It kind of had that Activision Blizzard kind of feel to it, where they were going to line up more games, which, you know, they're a gaming company. Why wouldn't they want to do that? Some people getting upset that if this is a new game, they're going to slide their focus away from Squadron 482 and Star Citizen. It could be a marker as they are close to being done with Squadron 482, so they're getting on to the next thing. I'm not quite sure. To me, I'm going to kind of just look at this, and I'm just going to see what some of the content creators have to say and then chime in after I've gotten some of their speculation out of the way. I wouldn't be surprised if it was a new title, but let's see. It could be like their new VoIP tech. Yeah, we don't know yet. We don't know yet, Daft, but let's check it out.
Yeah, it's
right, let's watch Bored Gamer, and then we'll watch SaltEMike talk about it. Let's hear what Bored Gamer has to speculate first, and then we'll see what Mike thinks.
Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. There's a few things I want to talk about today. There's a bit of talk about a new trademark from Cloud Imperium Games.
Could be
SOULSINGER. We don't know exactly what it is, but I want to talk a bit about it. We have updates to Alpha 3.104.1 and its exosuits, as well as some dev responses. So, SOULSINGER, what is this? What's going on? It's a trademark.
Yeah, if it's trademarked, I'm not sure it would be like a mini game inside of a game though. Like if the developer is making a trademark for it, I would imagine that it's either a piece of tech or that it's actually a new game, one or the other. I don't think it would be a mini game inside of a mini game. I don't think Greasy's right on that, but that's just, that's me.
That was registered on the 25th of June by Cloud Imperium. Now, we don't really know what it could be. There's some rumors. This is going to be a load of speculation, and I reckon from me. So this could be a name for a new game by CIG. Yeah, it could be an entirely new game. That might not be the name of the game. That might just be the sort of project, that the current working title of it or whatever, but it might be, it could be that. It could be a name for like the Star Engine tools or the audio engine, or sort of one of the parts of that CIG might license in.
Yeah, it could be like an audio piece of tech. Like SOULSINGER sounds like, to me, either a brand new game or a piece of tech that involves speech or music. You know what I mean? Like it seems to me like it's going to be one or the other for that. If it's part 2 of, if it's chapter 2, I don't think it's chapter 2 of Squadron. I've seen a couple people in the chat, members here say, maybe it's Squadron 42 second chapter. I don't think so, because I think they're going to test the waters. They want to see how chapter 1 does on sales first before they even get into it too. So you won't see a 2 unless number 1 does great, which I think it will do great. I think Squadron 42 will bring in a lot of money. However, they want to gauge it first before they make a chapter 2. So I'm not thinking this is a chapter 2. Like, I'm just telling you right now, I don't believe this is a Squadron 42 chapter 2 thing. I think it's either tech involving some type of audio or an actual new game, personally.
In the future, it could be a new game mode for Star Citizen or whatever. It could also be something they're licensing or selling. So as someone asked, maybe like to use the Star Engine to make a game, for example, and CIG have gone yes, but these are the terms or whatever.
Probably
we're going to trademark the game name and license it out to you or whatever, something like that. There were also some, I reckon, with a grain of salt, dodgy rumors that it was for some sort of fantasy game by CIG, but again, entirely unverified.
Yeah, I mean, Camp's right. Camp says this. My daughter says to me at all times, you're just speculating. Don't get all excited until you know for sure. Yes, really, at the end of the day, I'll tell you why I do get excited when I hear this type of news, though, because anytime there's like new tech or like a new game on the horizon, I just always get excited. The gamer in me always gets excited. But I do think it's very positive, no matter what it is for Cloud Imperium, because it shows you that they're growing. They're growing. Whether it's new tech or a new game, they're growing. Like that's what you want to see from any business that you are into. You want to see this growth. If it was a new game, my personal take is good for them. Like they should branch out. They should branch out. That's what good game dev companies do. They branch out. If it's new tech, great. The more new tech they have, the happier I am.
We do know that they've got Squadron 42 episode 2 and 3 planned after they finish off episode 1.
Wooksy.
And I mean, it's possible that it's a...
Wooksy says, SoulSinger allows you to trade your kids for big ship packages on your own planet in-game.
sort of working title for Squadron 42 episode 2, right? I want to ask you though, if CIG were to add another IP to their lineup, a new game to their roster that they're going to start developing in a similar way to Star Citizen, how detached do you want that from Star Citizen and Squadron 42? Would you want entirely different teams and studios working on it, sort of like it's a new game, it's separate out entirely? Would you want it to run its own crowdfunding, totally different website, that sort of stuff? Is it okay if they share some of the sort of assets between the studios, like money, dev teams, that sort of stuff? Or is it sort of totally cool if they're using the same engine, if it's all on the Star engine? Doesn't really matter because they're going to be developing the Star engine more because of this new game. Could funds be used from Squadron and Star Citizen to help get that game dev started? Is it an issue at the moment because effectively it's backer money that's expected to be used on Star Citizen and Squadron? Or at least that's the expectation from the players that are backing it, right? So this is mostly a thought exercise, so bear that in mind, but I am really interested to know what you think. Also, what do you think SoulSinger could be? And will we know more maybe later this year or at CitizenCon? Because there's a load of random ideas. This could be sort of AI tools that they're using to have dynamic NPCs and stuff.
This is interesting. Massow says the mark info on the trademarker site says the mark for SoulSinger is a trademark registration intended to cover the categories of downloadable computer games or software, downloadable video game software. Interesting, Massow. So yeah, I mean, based upon what you have written here, possible more probability being put into this as an actual game, a new title that they're working on. So interesting, Mad Style. Let's hear it from Mad Style. Look at him going deep, doing the research. What's going on here, Mad Style?
Like that, like we just don't know at the moment. All we really have is that name and the application for the trademark, and that it's within the downloadable computer game software, downloadable video game software category, roughly, on entertainment provided by the internet, which includes things like MMOs. And I'm totally okay for...
I'll tell you what though, SoulSinger sounds like a fucking game title to me, man. If this is for tech, that's interesting.
Rampant speculation on the comments here, as long as everyone remains sort of calm and civil. I know a lot of people are going to have sort of crazy ideas about that, or sort of off the beaten path ideas, but it is just that rampant speculation. Please don't get too grumpy or annoyed at other people's ideas.
When we used to theorycraft, people used to get so upset. You know, we still do to this day on this channel. We theorycraft new ideas. In fact, the video we watched from phase 1 about the AI blades just hit on the channel the other day. And some guy got pissed off in the comments. He's like, oh, so you want this to be like EVE Online, huh? And I'm like, dude, maybe the economy, but perhaps you weren't watching the entire video, because like the guy didn't get any context. I love when I do these highlights and like 98% of people understand what the fuck it is I'm saying, and then you get that 2% of people that are like so far in left field that you wonder like how two brain cells ever rub together inside of their fucking cranium, like. And then like you get these you get these comments that come in, and you're like reading it, and you're like, I don't know what this guy watched. That's so crazy. Let's see what SaltEMike has. to say. Curious what he thinks here. Let's check it out.
It's hard to ignore this stuff.
Does he get upset?
There was some ridiculous news that came out yesterday.
Why is it ridiculous?
That is ridiculous if true.
Why?
Ridiculous if not true. It just is ridiculous. Okay? Yeah, it's a few months old, but somebody caught it yesterday. And I think it's best if I move myself over here. And this is from this Spectrum thread from...
But why would he think it would be ridiculous?
Sinner.
This is how he grabs people, you know what I mean?
I found these links. And this is Cloud Imperium LLC trademarks. So these are trademarks that Cloud Imperium Games owns. Yeah, this. I don't know how we avoid talking about this, so let's just get it out of the way. Post a video so I can point to it and never talk about this shit again, hopefully. CitizenCon, Squadron 42, SQ42, which is funny about this. I think I know when they did this. There's a funny story that maybe one day I'll tell. I might have already told it, but I don't remember. But there's a very funny story around SQ42. Star Citizen, obviously. It's weird that they only filed for this stuff in 2020. Squadron 42, Arena Commander again. These are the same things, so but they're different serial numbers. I wonder why they're two different ones. Bar Citizen,
because the reason why is they've trademarked the like, if you look at the descriptions here, one's for the actual video game or the module inside the tech itself, and the other is for the actual it says on the first one, the Arena Commander says downloadable computer game software, downloadable video game software, downloadable electronic publications in nature. So they're basically trademarking the module in the game. And the next one says motion picture films featuring action comedies and dramas about a fictional universe, downloadable motion pictures. So it has to do with more of the cinematic experience, which is funny on Arena Commander. But they're just covering their bases for future upgrades to Arena Commander. So they've trademarked both, you know, to give themselves their walled garden. You know, yeah, he's only reading the big letters, right?
But they're different serial numbers. I wonder why. They're two different ones.
They have to be two different serial numbers, so they protect themselves. That's, you know, this is what you see a lot of repetition in trademarks. You see this all the time when it comes to trademarks.
Bar Citizen, that one's a little bit weird, since that's something that somebody
else actually created Bar Citizens, and it seems like they've taken it onto themselves to trademark it. Now that's interesting to me.
Else handled, and they trade,
unless the person who created Bar Citizens sold the rights to Cloud Imperium, and then Cloud Imperium trademarked the Bar Citizens because it's a completely monetizable event.
Mark that.
It's not weird though.
Squadron 42, United Empire of Earth, Second Fleet. All right.
Somehow, I couldn't imagine that they didn't get the rights on this from whoever created the idea of Bar Citizen. I couldn't imagine they would trademark it. If they did, then yes, that would be weird. But I think they probably just approached the person with the idea of Bar Citizen, who put these Bar Citizens together, and then they bought the rights for the Bar Citizen idea, and then now they're running with the ball, and they've trademarked Bar Citizens because they understand that it's monetizable. Is usually what happens in this world, you know.
SQ42 again, Arena Commander again, Squadron 42 again, Star Engine, and then on June 25th, 2024, SOULSINGER. Yeah, it could be
audio. It could be any type of audio tech as well. It might very well be. I mean, the fact that Star Engine's there and then you have SOULSINGER, it could be just like, okay, they're going to trademark the tech that makes up Squadron 42 and the persistent universe. It could very well be that.
Literally be anything. but what does it sound like?
Explodo.
Right? What does it sound?
Explodo says here's a spoiler. It's a game about Motown. I would totally buy that.
Like it doesn't sound like anything that would be in Star Citizen. It sounds like a weapon in a video game to me, right? So I don't know, but people are stretching. This is the actual SOULSINGER trademark. It says a lot of providing massively multiplayer online video games. So if maybe if we look at something that isn't.
What did Star Engine say under it? It also said downloadable computer game software, downloadable video game software. So because we know Star Engine's actually the tech involved and the engine itself, and it has that moniker under it, then yes, SOULSINGER could very well be a piece of audio tech for the game. Perhaps an upgrade on VoIP, perhaps what they're calling VoIP. Could be a lot of things, for God's sake, but I think it'd be cool if it was a title.
If maybe if we look at something that isn't that, does it say anything about massively online video games? It does not. Right? Well, what about a single player game? Does it say anything about massively multiplayer online video games? It does not. Right? Let's look at Star Engine. Does it say anything about massively multiplayer online video games?
Let's see. The thing is, you can't go any further than what we got here on this trademark site. I mean, like, people can speculate this till they're blue in the fucking face. You know, we're not going to find out until they tell us what the fuck it is, and they're going to tell us or they're not going to tell us. But like, to me, I think it's a piece of the tech or it's a new title. And personally, I would prefer it be a new title. I would prefer they fucking start a new title and make everybody go, what the fuck's going on here? And I know a lot of people would be like, oh, DG, that's going to take time and resources away from Star Citizen. I don't know if it would. Like, it might not. It might not. It depends. It depends. I think as a gaming company, though, you should have like a diverse repertoire, if you will, of titles. I think having multiple titles is good for the overall health of a game dev company. This could be a marker that they're getting further, that they're actually further along on Squadron 42 than we thought. And I'm super curious on any Squadron 42 related news at CitizenCon. Cannot wait to hear them talk about CitizenCon. And I'm going to be waiting with bated breath to hear a release date. Because that seems to be in the grapevine lately in my content creator world and in my Cloud Imperium dev world. I keep getting this vibe that we're going to get the Squadron 42 release date coming up at CitizenCon, which would be rather big news. So we shall see, but I'm going to be keeping that on the radar when we're here streaming CitizenCon, and you guys better be here for it too, because we always have fun during our CitizenCon stream. So anyway, I'm not going to get too far down the speculating shit slide, if you will. You know, but like I did find this on my radar, and I did find it kind of interesting because it does make you think about a future in which Cloud Imperium is starting to make other titles, even if they're not right now, even if this is just the tech. What it does do is it kind of opens your imagination up to think like, oh yeah, they're a game dev company. Of course, they're going to come out with more games eventually, even if this isn't a new game. You can tell that they've got it set up that way when you open up the actual new loading screen, the menu to get into Star Citizen. You can see it. The new autoloader shows an area where it says games. So I think we're going to get into at some point in the foreseeable future where, yes, they will start working on other titles. And if it takes away from Star Citizen, that's yet to be seen. Should be interesting to see how they would split up the work, though, right? Because we're having so many issues right now with Star Citizen and Squadron 42 development. But I think that is over dramatized a lot. I think the work is steady. I think there's a lot of people involved with the progress of Star Citizen, and I think there's plenty of progress happening that we don't know about, that content creators don't know about, that's happening behind the scenes at Cloud Imperium. And all these content creators want you to believe that, you know, they know everything that's going on. They don't. Me included. We're just along this ride, and we're getting as much information as we can. I think the content creator's purpose is to keep the developer honest, to rally behind the community's voice and the fans, make sure that the fans have a voice and that they're getting the game that they want, and to have a good time. I think at the end of the day, the content creator's responsibility is to find out as much information as they can, support the community and the voice, and have a good time doing it. That's what we do here on the channel. Thanks. If you're watching on YouTube, like, share, tell us what you think about Soul Singer. What do you think it is in the comments? And I would like to hear that. Maybe we'll talk about it next week.